Greetings car fanatics, this is my 2008 Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and in this video I'll be walking you through how to remove the headliner. The headliner on the 955 and 957 Cayennes are known for sagging. You have this foam backing that over time just breaks apart, and when that happens the headliner no longer sticks to the backing material. Let's take a look at the tools you'll need for the job. You'll need a pry tool. I like this metal one here because it is nice and rigid. You need a flathead screwdriver, a T20, T25, and T30 Torx screwdriver. Having an impact driver also helps. You'll need some thread locker. And then you want to stay organized. So get a piece of cardboard, and then for all of your screws, as you remove them, label where you got them from, and then stick it in here. It can be very easy to forget where each of these screws go. So stay organized. Before you get working on removing the headliner, you want to open the sunroof. That's going to be critical so you can actually get these clips that hold the sunroof off and you can remove that headliner. So open that sunroof before you remove that console portion up top, or you won't be able to control it anymore. In addition, put down the back seats, take off the headrest, put the back seats down. That's going to give you clearance to bring the headliner down and out the back. Let's take a look at a high-level overview of all the parts you need to remove to get the headliner out. I want to show you the process to remove each of these components with them off the car so you can see where the fasteners and screws are so you can remove them without breaking anything. So starting at the forward portion of the car, you have your A-pillars and your A, B, C pillars. The covers all pretty much get removed in the same way. You're going to pop off the airbag cover, and then you'll find a T25 Torx screw that you need to remove. And then once you do that, you can pry the top portion off. Then you're going to pull the whole cover upward and out. So let's look at how the fasteners work on the back. Alright, so as you can see, your screw goes in there and secures the top in place. Then you have this over here. So that's actually going to slide into a little round plastic mount. So that's why you need to pull it up to pull the A-pillar out. You definitely don't want to pull straight back or you're going to break the clip that this slides into. And you also have one down here. And then lower portion is going to slide into like a metal retaining clip. So pretty simple for the A-pillar. Next, you want to remove the sun visors on both sides. You have two mounting points over here. It's held on by two T25 screws. You have this cap that you're just going to take either your fingernail or a small pry tool, pop that off. That's going to reveal the first T25 screw you need to remove. And then once you remove this side, you can drop it down. Just drop this side and then kind of wiggle this side out while pulling this towards you because you have this clip that goes on right there that's going to want to stay. Then the other side over here, you have this hidden compartment. So go ahead and open that up. That's going to reveal the T25 screw that you need to remove. And then once you do that, you can just gently pry it and that should come out. Once you do that, then disconnect this wire over here from the male portion simply by pulling this tab back towards you and then releasing the male portion. Then you can remove the sun visor, and that's going to apply to the driver and the passenger side sun visor. Then moving on to the center console overhead dome over here, you're going to want to remove this. This is held on by four screws. You're going to pop this one open and then you can easily access those two screws. The next two Torx screws are located under this light. So to remove this light, you can see here that it just has a clip right here and a clip right there. So what you want to do is use a pry tool, just get each side and be careful not to scratch anything. And then just release one side and you can pop this right out, and then you'll be able to find your other Torx screws right here, one on that side and one on this side over here. Then with the Torx screws removed, you can actually pry this whole dome unit from the bottom and remove it. Let's go look at the clips. So you got your two clips over here, so you're just gonna pry this lower portion out and then you can work this whole thing out. And as you can see up here at the top, you have this part where it kind of sits into it. So basically when you're removing this, you want to pry this portion down and then just wiggle it out. Once you have this unit hanging down, you won't be able to remove it just yet. You'll need to remove a few connectors. There are three. There's one over here. The female side should have a button that you press and then you'll be able to separate the two and release it. Then you also have this one over here. So there's a male portion that goes in that has a button. Just press that at the top, wiggle that one out. And then your third and final connection is to the sunroof control switch. There isn't anything you need to press to release, but either pull it kind of hard or use a flathead screwdriver to kind of help you pry it out. Then that's going to allow you to fully disconnect this portion from the roof. Next, you want to remove the 4 grab handles. Let me show you how to remove each one. You're going to pry this corner open. Then you have a screw in there. I think it's a T25, and you're just going to do that on each side, and then you can just pull that and remove it. Do that for all 4 grab handles, and that should be pretty straightforward. Next, you want to remove each of the dome lights in the back seat on each side over there. So this is straightforward. Pop this open, and then inside there's going to be a T25 torque screw. Just remove that, and then you'll be able to just pry this out from either side. If you look at it, you can see that there's this one clip on this side. Just kind of pry it out from that side, and then this whole unit should come out pretty easily. And then, of course, you'll want to disconnect the power, which is just a male connector that goes in here. It's straightforward enough to remove. There's just a button on the male connector. Press that and remove it. Then as you get to the rear part of the headliner, you're going to have this light over here. You're going to want to remove that, and you can see that each side has a metal clip, or actually just this side. So try prying it from one of the sides over here, and then you'll be able to remove that. And then the connector just comes off. You can just pull that out. Moving on to the rear shelf portion, let me show you where this one goes. It actually goes right here. The only thing it's held on with are these metal clips. So it's going to be a bit intimidating. It's going to require quite a good amount of pressure to remove each one of these, but you just want to start from one corner. So start from here and pull it down, pop that, then move to the next one. And in total, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that you need to remove. And then this should come out. So we covered almost everything, but we have a few more items to cover, and let's talk about these B pillars. The B pillars are very similar to the A pillars. You have the airbag portion that you need to remove here. Then you can remove that torque screw. There's only one screw that holds it, and then once you do that, just pry it from the sides, and then you'll be able to pop it off. And you don't need to fully remove it. Just get it out of the way, move it down. That way you have enough room to drop the headliner, and you're going to do that for both sides. And the final trim piece you're going to need to remove is the C pillar, and it's similar but a little more tricky to remove. So pop off the airbag cover and remove the lone torque screw that holds it in place, and then you'll be able to pop it off from the clips over here and get it most of the way. But here is a tricky part. On each side at the base, you have these clips that go in. So before you could fully remove it, you need to grab the lowest portion on each side, pull that out, because that one goes into this trim piece over here. So you need to pull each side out to release this clip, and then once you do that, you can fully remove the C pillar trim and then just set it aside. And again, that's going to give you enough clearance to drop this lower portion, and you're going to do that for both sides. And let's look at the 2 clips on the tail end of the headliner, right there and right there. So this is what the clip looks like. It looks like an anchor, and I broke mine, so I ordered some new ones. They're called VW headliner clips. Let me show you where these go. These just go in right here, like so. And then to remove them, just stick your finger in from this side, like that, and then you can press it and pop it out. So if you do that on this side and on this side, you'll be able to get these clips out very easily without breaking anything. You also have some clips around the sunroof. So before you start disassembling your car, you want to retract your sunroof all the way back. That way you can access the clips. Essentially this metal frame over here, the headliner clips. So you can see that there are 14 of these clips that you'll need to pop off. All right, so here's a better look at the clips. Is going into portion over here. It's just gonna clip right on in. So to remove these, what you need to do, you'll be able to just a little bit of this top portion from up above in the sunroof opening. What you wanna do is just take a screwdriver, stick it in there, and then as you move over, you'll feel it hit. And then you stick your screwdriver in right here, sandwiched between this clip, this metal portion, but stick that screwdriver in and just pop it. This one should pop straight out. Nothing should fall off or anything. It should come off real easily. So stick it in, do that for all of these clips, and then that's gonna free this portion from sunroof bracket up here. So with all of those parts removed, you're almost ready to drop the headliner, but let's talk about a few vital clips. First, on the front portion, you have some clips like these over here on the side. These are very delicate, so you basically just want to push the headliner inward to release these clips so you don't break them. And you have some in the back over here. So a very similar situation here in the back. I actually broke one of the tabs off. Just be careful when doing that. And let me give you a few more tips. The seats, take off the headrest, fold them down. That's going to give you a whole lot more room to get the headliner out. And the headliner, removing it is one of the hardest parts. Essentially what you want to do is you want to grab each side of the headliner and then fold it in just slightly, like you're kind of folding a taco or something like that. And then once you fold it a little bit in, you should be able to pull it straight out. No angling or anything is necessary as long as you have the B and C pillars lowered. You should be able to just grab each side, fold it up a little bit, and then pull it straight out. Let's take a look at our expert Mark removing the headliner all by himself. So I have the old headliner material removed, and you can see what the back looks like. You have this foam backing that over time just breaks apart, and when that happens, the headliner no longer sticks to the backing material. After Mark removed the old material, he cleaned up the backing and he applied new adhesive and glued the new material on. Then he cut everything to fit perfectly. Alright, so let me give you some tips for reassembly. And once you put the headliner back in, the first thing you want to do is line up the two rear clips over here. You're going to lift the headliner up in the rear, and then you're going to slide it so it sits right in place with the trim pieces on the D-pillar over here and over there. So if you lift the back end of the headliner up, you can slide it in position, and then those two clips should be in position, and then you can snap everything in. Alright, now let's get the rear trim piece in place. Just line that up, and then we have our clips that we need to press in. Then we want to take our light and connect that back. After that, you want to reinstall the grab handles starting from the rear. Do that because when you can install the grab handles, that means the headliner is in the right position and it will provide support to keep the back end up, and then you can work your way to the front grab handles, and that's going to really keep the headliner in position. And with that in position, you'll be able to snap in the clips around the sunroof. Let's go ahead and take a look at that and how easy it is once everything is perfectly aligned. Alright, so we have one of the clips in, and surprisingly, once I got the grab bars in the back, that clip was a lot easier. So look, it's just popping right into place. That's awesome. And so easy to do it once you have it lined up properly that you can do it like me, one-handed while filming. After the sunroof is clipped in, you can reinstall the sun visors, and then with the sun visors reinstalled, you can install the overhead dome light, put that up, put the 4 screws in. That's going to keep it attached. You want to make sure too that on the edges, when you're putting this piece back in, that you're tucking the headliner underneath, and those delicate clips I told you about, those actually help keep this in the right position. Right now, let's reinstall the A-pillar. We want to get this in place with the metal clip over here. Then you also need to get the other stuff in place. Alright, so when I pushed it down, I was able to get the clips in that just latch on those little round tabs. Now I just need to install the Torx screw, so pretty straightforward. Now let's put the B-pillar trim back on, line up the bottom portion, and slot that in. Awesome, then you just reinstall that Torx screw and put the airbag cover back on. Now let's move to the C-pillar. So we want to start with the bottom and get these 2 lower clips in. Alright, we got that one. Again, put that Torx screw in. Now let's get the dome lights in. Just clip the connector on the back. And let's work it in. Okay, got it in. Just reinstall the Torx screw and we are done. All right, car fanatics, we have the headliner all in place, and I am surprised with my abilities to actually put everything back. I think everything is pretty much back in its original place. Nothing broke except for that one tab. And looking at it, it definitely looks a lot better. Now, the suede used is not a perfect match. Unfortunately, the OEM suede was, I think, around $400 to $500, whereas this one was about $150. So I opted to go with the cheaper headliner, and the color is not a perfect match. I think if I were to do it again, probably recommend just shelling out the extra money and going with the OEM Porsche fabric. That is going to run you a little bit more. But the person I use, Mark at Auto Recon, he charged me $400 to put the new material on, and if he were to remove the headliner and put it back in, it would have been probably another $500. So overall, you can expect to pay about anywhere between $800 to $1,000 to get your headliner redone, or a little bit less if you can do some of the work yourself. Definitely don't recommend this to a beginner. If you have DIY experience, it's definitely doable, but still it is a bit cumbersome. Well, there you have it, car fanatics. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you're notified each time I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.